internal power.
PLC 21, check 124. TD RSO, when waiting is green. RSO is green.
Copy, TD is green. T-minus 7 minutes and counting. We are go for launch.
You're watching the Rocket Radio Show.
Groovy.
Century, that human affairs were being watched from the timeless worlds of space. No one could have dreamed we were being scrutinized as someone with a microscope studies creatures that swarm and multiply in a drop of water. Few men even considered the possibility of life on other planets. And yet, across the gulf of space, minds immeasurably superior to ours regarded this Earth with envious eyes. And slowly and surely, they drew their plans against us.
This is the invasion. Ladies and gentlemen, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, and welcome to the Rocket Radio Show broadcast.
Starring your host, Rocket, and that's me. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, studio audience. Thank you very much. And also thank you to those children that are being held in the wooden box. Okay, that's enough. And I'd also like to introduce at this time my lovely co-host, Samantha Stanley. How you doing, Sam?
I'm doing great, Rocket.
Thank you, everybody. You know, you got to remember, Sam.
What's that?
When we first come on, that the studio audience is going ape shit.
They love me.
I know. Ladies and gentlemen, Samantha Stanley.
Oh, thank you, everybody.
All right, you guys, that's enough. Watch this. Ladies and gentlemen, Rocket. They don't like me. So, busy times, Sam. There's a lot happening.
Yeah, what's going on?
Well, first of all, I'd like to make an announcement.
Dun, 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 dun.
The Rocket Radio Show is a highly popular and highly entertaining spectacle, Sam.
Yes.
Radio theater broadcast. We are growing by leaps and bounds. Now, last time I did a show with me, I had mentioned something about satellite.
Correct.
I'm going to mention it again. Satellite. But I'm not going to tell you any facts. We are progressing along quite wonderfully.
Things are looking good.
Yes, ma'am. I'm looking for some fiber optics cable. They're supposed to be coming down my road anytime. It's going to be wonderful. We're going to do our own server.
Love that.
We do. We do have some opinions about Spreaker that I'm going to share with the audience tonight. Hey, and you guys that are listening to the show right now, I just wanted to thank you so much. That's a habit of mine to say that, by the way. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Sam.
Thank you.
For showing up to the studio today.
Yeah,
against better advice.
We really want to thank our listeners.
Yeah,
because we couldn't do it without
thank you guys, man. Not doing it for the money.
Nope, not
Just
doing it for the money.
Feeding my ego. That's it. I'm here to feed my ego. Make myself feel better about my inability to do anything concrete to save our fucking country. It's getting ripped out underneath us right now. All right, I'll cool my jets. I'm not going to get upset about it.
Wow.
Make my gallbladder scar break open.
Oh, we don't want that.
So, there's lots in the news. There's lots of stuff happening. First of all, Sam,
Yes.
I always love to have you let me know that I'm right, because I'm always right about stuff.
And what have you done that is
I am,
right?
though, aren't I? Pretty much. When I'm making a prediction, a rocket prediction, I'm usually right. I'm like dead on.
The rocket predictions
You
are
can
usually...
set your frickin' watch by my shit. It's like sage-like advice. What do I always say, Sam?
Never underestimate the
What else do I always
violence
say?
of a chimp.
I say something else, too. I always say.
I'm always right.
Well, yeah. It's gonna be robots.
You say that.
Mother effing robots. The military, the Department of Defense, has announced that they are currently... that they have, they're working on integrating robots with actual squad units.
Right.
Yeah. And what they're hoping for is they can get robots in 20 years that can actually use soldiers' equipment, like the rifles and stuff. So in other words, an autonomous walking robot. What do I always say? It's not going to be the blue helmeted guys. It's going to be robots. And you can just bet if Raytheon has anything to do with it and they're announcing it, they already have them.
Yeah.
You know they do. They're 20 years, 40 years ahead of what they're telling the dorks in the public. Now, one thing I always notice about these goddamn robots, Sam, you watch for this. You watch yourself there, Cookie. You take a look for yourself sometime. Any one of you guys, let's search it out. What do they always say about these fucking robots? Oh, the XB-72 can climb stairs and open doors. Yeah, I'm glad to know your fucking robot can climb the stairs and open doors. They always throw that in there. They say, the XB-790 android will be able to climb stairs, open doors. Of course, it can be militarized, but will actually be used for searching for lost hikers in coordination with a drone flying overhead.
Well, I'd really like it if some of those that can climb stairs and open doors could also vacuum, mop, and move furniture around.
And it's got some kind of functioning vagina. That's what we care about. Look at the cleaning. I want it to be hot and have a functioning vagina.
Well,
An oral attachment, probably.
Yeah, I forgot about that part.
Yeah, that's the good thing about a goddamn robot. Hey, look, we've made a mechanical mouth and throat with a tongue. Goddamn Japanese bastards. Horny little bastards. It's easily cleaned with soap and mild soap and water. Don't use Windex on your toys.
And that is a public service announcement from the Rocket Radio Show.
And you know, how stupid can people be, Sam? How frickin' stupid can people be? They made an announcement. They've got blimps, dirigibles. Now, I often talk about escaping in a dirigible. You and I. We'll take an RV. We'll sew together a bunch of sleeping bags. I'll make it a football shape, dirigible. We'll put large propellers on the back of the RV. I'll get rid of the tires and stuff. I'll try to get rid of all the weight, you know. We'll load it up. I'll cut the lines, and we'll drift off into the upper stratosphere while the world's going to hell. And we'll hide out up in the stratosphere, flying around with the clouds, until the post-Mad Max cool-down stage, Sam. What do you think?
You have talked about that before.
Well, they're posting white blimps over Washington, D.C.
What do you mean by posting them?
They're going to be permanently stationed over the top of Washington, D.C., these white blimps, and according to the military, those are for intercepting those big, bad cruise missiles.
What?
That's what they're saying. They're goddamn spy dirigibles.
Right.
Because if you wanted to intercept a cruise missile, you put them on the coast. Do you know how many low information retards believe that shit? Oh, that rocket, he's a right-wing conspiracy kook. That's cool. In other words, I'm a conspiracy kook because I don't believe all their bullshit. I mean, the company line is always a lie.
You're not drinking the Kool-Aid.
No, and I'm not holding it for a year before I drink it either. You know, the sad thing about that, because they use dirigibles for observation platforms, and they can be militarized in Iraq for spying on the population. So they wanted over Washington, D.C., 2 of them, $1 billion a piece. $1 billion for a blimp. The R&D is included. Now, blimps were perfected, Sam, in 1926.
Like the Hindenburg?
Yeah. The gullible public will believe anything, man. So, what's in the news, Sam? What do you got in the news? Let me see.
Well, let's see. Do you want to talk about the mayor of San Diego, that little charmer?
How many notes you got? I didn't like notes. I like notes now that I'm getting older.
Well,
Notes.
I've got about 3/4 of a page.
26 pages in a full legal pad.
Perfect.
All
Okay,
right.
so we're on. So let's talk about
Top
that.
of the hour. What do you got?
Let's talk about that charmer, the mayor of San Diego.
What's up with them? It's got the 3rd or 4th sexual harassment thing coming in.
He's got multiple allegations of sexual harassment, but he is not stepping down. He is not going to resign. He has come out publicly to say that he, number one, apologizes, but there is nothing that he can do with his behavior that can right the wrongs that have been done. And he recognizes that he has a problem, and he is going to be checking himself into a 2-week intensive program of behavior modification therapy.
Yeah, they're going to teach him how to zip up his penis.
Leave her alone.
He's got a mangina there.
Well, I mean,
What a fucking disgrace.
I guess what I think about
You know, I got to tell you something, Sam.
Tell me something.
Okay, chicks with big tits are trouble at work. Because inevitably, I don't care what you say, if you work in close proximity, you wind up touching those boobs. They get in the way. They're always in the way. The cows eat them for hay.
I knew you were
You
gonna
could throw them
say
over
that.
your shoulder like a continental soldier. Tie them in a bow, right?
Yeah.
You got these big boobs sticking out. You're a guy. You innocently reach for a cup of coffee. She moves forward to tell you something. They're poking out. Goddamn blimps. Bump your arm. You notice that? Bump your arm. Now, from a guy's perspective, that's as good as sucking. Holy Toledo, I bumped those titties. That was an accident. How about patting on the ass? What do you think, Sam? Sexual harassment? Hey, girl. A little smack on the butt.
If you're my boss,
What's going on, girl?
If you're my boss.
But what if you're hot, though?
No, it's
You're gonna
not.
be used to it.
Rocket, it's not okay.
No, it's not okay as a boss to be patting some dog on the ass. Right? He's got some mutt for secretaries over there. Pat, pat. What's happening, girl?
No.
Sick old bastard.
You're missing the whole point. I know women ruin everything, and so this.
No, women have. Let's get this straight, okay? I've been accused, as I said, that women have ruined everything in America. Everything that they got their fucking claws into. You know, I got to tell you something, Sam.
Tell me.
I'm a fan of the Susan Powder Show.
Oh God.
Yeah. I think she's my female equivalent.
The Stop the Insanity chick?
Yeah.
I thought that she just kind of went by the wayside.
The dramatic lesbian.
Ah.
She says that people call her a harpy. Pretty bitter, I think. Not sure what to think about her. But she does have 10,000 followers, and she gets about 800 people listening, and they all make comments and talk. Of course, she's got the LGBT thing going for her. Yeah. And if I'm not mistaken, she's by herself with her dogs.
Okay.
Yeah. Feminism's working. Feminism's really working there. What?
Well, I want to go back to the sexual harassment comment and the mayor of San Diego. You know, we had a show, months ago about a dental hygienist that was fired because her boss, the dentist, was actually having sexual thoughts and sexual fantasies about her, and so his wife made him fire her, and she filed a suit, right?
Right.
And
once again, huge tits.
Yes,
I told you it's a problem.
During that show, you and I argued a lot about the fact that it's her fault that she has big boobs.
Totally.
Not his fault that he has unclean thoughts about his
No, it's her
hygienist.
fault. It's her fault for walking around and shaking her ass, bending over, showing her tits. I know how those dentists are. I've been half gassed out of my mind, and I realized that the hygienist has got her boobs firmly against my head. And in a dream... Quiet in the studio! And in a dreamlike state, while blazing on that gas, it's quite heavenly. I swear I could actually feel a seam in her bra on the top of my head. My head's very sensitive.
Oh, my God.
I told her, I said, you know, your boobs are touching my head. She goes, I know. See what I mean?
So, okay, so...
Now, back to this chick that had to quit because the guy was too hot for her. That's her fault. They have what's called the Cammy Killjoy, Sam. You know what the Cammy Killjoy is, right? It's by the makers of potato chips with herpes. It's one of the shittiest products ever designed. It's a cleavage covering. It's a little like apron-like thing. Goes in your blouse. Makes it look like you're wearing a camisole.
Right.
Cover up that cleavage.
Right.
Okay, that would prevent these unwanted sexual desires on the part of her male boss. He's just being male after all. And you know, from what I understand, this little harpy that was taking him to court over that whole thing, she mentioned that he said a hot chick like her starving for sex was like having a Jaguar in the garage. And never driving. You remember that?
I do.
Okay, let me ask a question, okay? First of all, these two are buddies.
Yeah, they
obviously.
were friends.
Okay,
yeah.
okay. There we go. Okay, why the fuck does this guy that walks around with a boner around her, why does he know that she's starving for sex?
Because
why would he know to make that reference?
She actually admitted.
Ah, here we go.
She admitted.
Other side of the coin of that evil dentist that was hot for her.
Oh, my God. She admitted that her and her husband were having some problems and that they were not as sexually intertwined as they once were.
And so she admitted to lengthy and highly descriptive anecdotal stories about her and her vibrator.
Oh, no.
What's a guy supposed to do?
Oh, God. No.
Later on, she's suctioning. And you know how I feel about the word suctioning.
I do.
So she's there. He's looking at her. Goddamn Jaguar. What a waste. And what do you suppose his wife, the dentist's wife...
The Holly Petraeus.
Yeah, I was going to say, you think
wife.
she's a dog? Holly Petraeus? Maybe Huma. Maybe she's Huma material. She's going to stand by her man.
Poor
Can you
Holly.
believe what a fucking disgrace
Anthony Weiner.
Anthony Weiner. God damn it.
Yeah.
I'm thinking erectile dysfunction. I mean, the guy's showing himself after he gets busted.
And admits to it again.
You know, there's a lot of pictures that are coming out. It's my proclivity.
Well, you know, that's
Doesn't mean I won't be a good mayor.
That's what I was talking about when I said something about the mayor of San Diego, and I apologize. I don't have his name in front of me. But the mayor of San Diego and Anthony Weiner, I mean, it's almost as if these acts, these heinous acts that they are doing are being excused. What?
I don't know about heinous.
Okay.
Come on, the guy's sexting and people are into it. He wasn't actually cheating.
Okay, these acts.
Maybe Huma's there.
These
taking pictures of it.
These inappropriate sexual acts that these two gentlemen, and I use that term very loosely, these two men were engaged in, they're basically saying, I'm sorry, but I don't think it changes the effectiveness of my cabinet. I don't think it changes the effectiveness of my ability to do work. I'm just going to apologize and move forward, and I think the public likes me, and I'm just going to go into behavior modification.
Yeah, I put it behind me. It's in the past. And, me and my wife, we reached a little rough spot. So, what I did was I went in there and I used mine. Can you imagine if you'd have taken a blue light and went into his office where he sits at his computer, Anthony Weiner? How busted he would be.
There'd just be a whole big
Get his
glowing,
CSI, all the sperms that are wiped down quickly with a little napkin.
Little glowing blob underneath his desk.
And from what I hear from the reports from these little chicks that he's sending the stuff to, he was sexting with them and talking with them. How does he get these bitches to do that? Where does he find them? God, he must be busy.
No, it could be somebody.
Craigslist.
It could be somebody like an intern, like a Monica Lewinsky, and she was not the big bad babe. I mean, she was kind of a homely, overweight, young chick. So it could just be like a Monica Lewinsky type thing. It's not these babes that he wasn't getting chicks from the Playboy Mansion all the time. Hey, I just noticed.
You brought up something. This is a good point.
Wait a minute. I just noticed you went to the refrigerator. You didn't take my dinner, did you?
No, I grabbed another beer.
Okay, thanks.
You brought up a good point. Have you ever noticed when dudes cheat on their old lady, especially if their old lady's mildly hot, they'll cheat on them with a big fat pig? You ever notice that? Like, I've heard women say, and not only did he cheat on me, but she was ugly and buck-toothed.
I think I've heard something to the effect of,
you want to know what it is?
Not only did he cheat on me, but he cheated on somebody my age that's a bar hag.
Yeah, you know what it is, though?
What?
Fat chicks and bar hags both have the same quality. They have great hair. You ever notice that? It's like a fat chick will have fucking great makeup and hair. And the other thing is they swallow.
Oh, God.
That's what it is, Monica Lewinsky. She got a little on her dress.
She wasn't very careful.
It was a cream pie situation.
No,
it wasn't
a cream pie situation.
It was a full-on bukkake.
Oh, you're right there.
I know. I think some of it came off the cigar. Just dribbled a little bit. But see, my point is, fat chicks are eager. You're not going to cheat on.
Or desperate.
What's the deal with these guys, right? The guy fucking becomes the most famous golfer. He gets the babysitter. Hot Norwegian blonde chick with blue eyes. Hot little bitch, right?
Right.
Has a bunch of kids with her.
A couple.
Yeah. Doesn't go get him a Nubian princess. No, he gets him a white girl. What do you know? Cheats on her.
I know, she was beautiful.
And then they leave, right? And what do you know? His fiancée looks just like the other broad.
Well, okay. All right. I was going to go somewhere with that.
Guys always do that. They'll dump one and pick up another one that's 10 years younger. And God bless them, why not?
Well, O.J. Simpson had a new girlfriend that looked a lot like Nicole Simpson.
O.J. Simpson has a girlfriend?
He had a girlfriend prior to his arrest.
Oh, I was going to say, how's he fitting that in? Once again, the real twist on O.J. Simpson is that he took the fall for his oldest son.
So you say.
That's pretty trippy, though, if you think about it.
Did you know that O.J. Simpson was in front of a parole board this week?
Again, with the gray and the big fat stomach.
Poor guy. I mean, now, I say poor guy. He was sentenced to 33 years in prison in 2008. And this is 2013, and he is already sitting in front of a parole board. 5 years? That's a 33-year sentence?
7 years can be considered life.
Well, he's asking for leniency from the parole board. I don't think a decision.
I say let him out. As long as you're not a blonde chick involved with him, you're probably safe. Or unless you're delivering glasses that were left in a restaurant. That's probably true.
Or,
I should just keep him locked up.
Or you're the pool boy.
What else is in the news, Sam?
Well, there was a horrible train wreck in Spain.
Oh, my God.
I mean, it was a passenger train, not a commuter train, but a passenger train, like a tour train. And it was going too fast.
It was going twice the speed it was supposed to be going.
And why, they haven't really explained why it was going as fast as it was.
Train driver was smoking a doobie.
So they turn a corner on a mountain. And
they came around a curve,
And the first 2 cars just immediately went off the track, and the rest of the cars just started to buckle under the pressure.
One of the train cars flew over a wall.
Yeah, it was
It's
a
not
mountain.
good when a train is flying.
It was a mountain, actually. It fell off of a cliff.
And, it killed 80 people.
I know. And, that's probably the same train that I've been looking at for our ever adventure to Florence.
Well,
Italy,
Spain actually has...
Rome, all of that area.
Spain is actually ranked 27th in the world for train accidents. I used to do a job, Sam, where I worked with the Department of Transportation, and we would investigate big rig crashes.
Right.
You'd be shocked how often there's a train wreck. Every day, somewhere, there's a train wreck.
Well, yeah.
Giant, multi-million-dollar machines, these railroad cars. There are safety mechanisms inside the train in some places, Sam, that slow the train down automatically if it gets going too fast. Now, there are other places like Spain where they use an alarm system to let the driver know that he's going too fast. But it's up to him to slow the train down. And that was not available on that curve. But the truth be told about trains, it's the goddamn unions. Because the best way to run a train is with a controller sitting in an air-conditioned room 50 miles away. Not in the train with you. Nope. It's not. These things should be automated, where the guy can see all the stuff that's going on and all the trains that are going on and control it correctly. Automated trains. And this shit wouldn't happen.
Well, it's funny that you mention that, because that is the modern way, is for somebody to actually be running a train or monitoring a train from a remote location, sitting in a room with large monitors and things like that. But in our area, because we have, such a big logging industry and we have a lot of trains, we actually have little conductors with little conductor hats and little overalls that actually sit in the front of those trains and kind of woo woo.
It's always men.
It is always men.
They're talking about in Europe pushing to have female train drivers because men associate speed with masculinity. So you got a guy going twice the fucking speed limit. And then when he survives, right, he's got a big gash in his head. He's walking around saying, I fucked up. I wish I were dead. The driver, who's currently under arrest now.
Well, good.
He's been a driver for 30 years.
Was he really smoking a doobie, or was that your just...
Yeah.
Really?
Oh, it was horrible. He had a beer in his lap, and the aluminum can came apart and cut his penis off.
Okay.
That was unfortunate.
You're so full of shit.
Brad Pitt was in the front with him. He saw that.
Uh-uh.
Now, that's a horrifying situation for Spain. I'm really sorry to hear that, and some Americans got killed.
Right. A
little Mormon kid survived it. And they were, of course, going to a Catholic function. A lot of stuff going on with the Catholics.
You think the Pope had anything to do with that?
He only has one lung. Very suspicious. Very suspicious. And, leave it to Buenos Aires to have a bunch of illiterate poor people that are so superstitious that they come out in throngs. And, the irony, Sam, I saw two ironies when I saw the Pope report. The first irony was the Pope was given to the key to the city, to Buenos Aires.
Yes.
And next to him for the ceremony was a kind of looked like maybe a cerebral palsy kid in a wheelchair. How's that possible?
I don't understand the correlation.
Well, cerebral palsy is one of those cool, curable on-stage diseases. It's not like an amputee. He's just all fucked up looking. He's kind of curled and misshapen. He could just stand up, bolt right, and walk away all cured, and no one would be the wiser. That's how those faith healers work. So, let me get this straight. You got a little crippled kid on the stage with the Pope. Pope is supposed to be some kind of freaking conduit to God, right? Saint. Why doesn't he heal the kid instead of patting him on the head, guaranteeing a life of misery and handicap? Why doesn't the Pope fix it? Okay, the next one. Why the fuck does the Pope need bulletproof glass?
Oh, in the Pope-mobile?
He's God. He's ordained by God. He's on a mission from God. He's selected out of the entire planet to represent God. It's a holy thing, but you know what? He needs a bulletproof vest.
Well, yeah, you don't want to take a chance with that guy.
He's got God on his side. He's the Pope.
No, what that means is that a bullet can still penetrate him, but that God will heal him. It doesn't make him immune to a bullet.
Now, Pope Francis gets a lot of positive press for what he's doing, doing outreaches to poor people, going to prisons. I got to give the guy kudos for that. However, let's not ignore the fact that the real problem I have with the Pope is, hey, Pope Francis, why don't you get out the gold goddamn checkbook and start writing some checks and feed the world like 10 times over for the next 100 years? Selfish bastards. You know what's weird, Sam?
What's that?
One of the popes, long time ago, I think in Napoleon's time.
Pope John.
You're right. He was kidnapped and taken into custody during the French. We're coming up on a break.
We are. Keep going, baby.
Anyway, Napoleon took the Pope away. Now, the Pope later died in custody a year later. And then in 1929, they gave a small 100-acre parcel that became the Vatican. And you know, Ronald Reagan, we have emissaries and ambassadors to it. It's a country.
The Vatican.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a sovereign country right plopped down in the middle of Italy.
Rome.
Yeah. How's that possible? I thought it was a religion. What the hell? Why is everything gilded in gold?
Now, wait a minute. Catholicism, the Catholic religion, is a religion. But the Vatican is a city.
Yeah, I get that. It's a sovereign state. Bizarre. They even have a jail.
Cool. For wayward popes.
Hey,
What?
speaking of religions and jails,
Yeah.
I'm happy to report that on the Islamic front, the Muslim Brotherhood, Morsi's now in jail, being charged with murder. I don't think it's going too well for the Muslim Brotherhood.
No, it's not.
And then you got Huma Abdiani and her mom, who's part of the Muslim Brotherhood. I bet there's so much chatter going on. I don't know if you heard it, but Hillary Clinton's brother is being investigated for fraud.
No, I didn't hear that.
Oh, yeah.
Do tell. I love Hillary scandal.
Yeah, her brother is getting charged with some kind of peddling scheme.
Like hustling? Peddling?
No, it's some kind of high finance, highfalutin. I don't remember the details. It's one of those things that elitists do when they get themselves in trouble. And then even Huma's in trouble. She's working for the State Department, and she's also a consultant for a company that Bill Clinton chairs. Of course, Bill Clinton performed Anthony Weiner and Huma's wedding ceremony.
Oh, what a tangled web.
So they're pretty close, pretty tight, those guys.
Yeah.
You know, and she's a senator from a know-nothing senator from New York. Absolutely zero political accomplishments. Traveled the entire world. Spent over $3 billion traveling. Just greasing her way.
It's a good way to travel.
Yeah. And you know, on that uplifting note, we're going to go to break.
All right, we'll be right back. After
Everybody, hang on. Hang on to your hats if you haven't liked the show yet. If you do like the show, press the like button. If you don't like the show, press the like button. If you're not following the show, follow.
If you don't like Rocket and you like Samantha,
follow.
press the like button.
Yeah. And if you don't want to follow us, just push follow anyway.
There you go. We'll
That's
be
right.
right back.
That's right. And, you know, we're going on a break, Sam.
Yes.
So I'm going to make a promise here.
Okay.
Before the break is up, we're going to be gone for a second. The next 2,000 people that like or follow the show will receive $100,000 in cash. Monopoly. We're going to go to break. We'll be right back, everybody. Thinking low energy. Low energy.
You're listening to The Night Gallery with Rocket and Samantha.
You're listening to the Night Gallery.
Ooh, I like that.
You're listening to the Night Gallery.
Ooh, say it again.
You're listening to the Night
Okay, that's gross.
Gallery.
Okay, I'm gonna stop it now.
You're listening to the Night Gallery.
I gotta go make a sandwich.
You're listening to the Night Gallery. The gallery of the night that you're listening to.
Okay,
You stopped it, huh?
I am right now. 1, 2, 3.
Ooh, sit back, enjoy the ride. Welcome to the Rocket Radio Show.
Step towards you, 'cause all that's waiting is regret. Don't you know I'm not your ghost anymore? You lost the love I loved the most. I learned to live half a life, and now you want me one more time. And who do you think you are, running around leaving scars, collecting a jar of hearts and tearing love apart? You're gonna catch a cold from the ice inside your soul, so don't come back for me. Who do you think you are? I hear you're asking all around if I am anywhere to be found, but I have grown too strong. 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 I have grown t
Look at my neck, damn. Look at my wrist, damn. I'm the shit, bitch. I'm the shit, bitch. I'm the shit, bitch. I'm the shit, bitch. Look at my neck, damn. Look at my wrist, damn. Look at my bitch, damn. Look at my fit, damn. Gucci man, you take your house apart. Probably cause I got that barrel hard. I ride your ass through East Atlanta skate. I'll make your girlfriend start to hate. Now I can't make you any promises, but I might buy a couple outfits. Make you look like you supposed to look. Gucci shoes, that's your pocket full.
And we're back, ladies and gentlemen, from break. This is your host, Rocket, coming to you live from the Broken Femur Bunker Studios on this Friday night. I'm joined by my lovely co-host, Samantha Stanley. How you doing, Sam? You make it through the breaks? Doing great. So we got more stuff in the news. I know for a fact that we do. What else is anecdotally in the news there, Sam? Let's get our viewers. You know, you can always tune to the Rocket Radio Show for analysis and commentary. The views expressed on the Rocket Radio Show do not necessarily reflect those Zionist Jew bastards. They're not all Jews, though. The Zionists. These opinions expressed do not necessarily reflect politically correct.
Oh.
Quiet in the studio! What? A security dog.
Okay, so
What's in the news, Sam?
So, a man was charged with possession of a firearm after he saved a boy by shooting 3 pit bulls.
Oh, yeah. That was in Washington, D.C. A 7-year-old boy was being attacked by 3 pit bulls. They were biting him on the legs and arms. The boy ran into him with his bicycle, and it triggered an attack. Now, these were not chimps, in fact, or the boy would have been severely fucked up. Now, he was released later from the hospital with bites on his arms and legs. But this guy, he's a contractor. He's like a contractor, carpenter. He moved from Virginia or something to Washington, D.C., and he brought his gun, and he didn't register it. But he ran in the house, got his pistol, and came out and dispatched those 3 dogs, 2 of them. And then the cops showed up, and with their help, they shot the 3rd dog. He was hailed in the newspaper as a local hero and then promptly arrested for having an unregistered firearm in Washington, D.C.
That doesn't seem right for some reason.
You know, what doesn't seem right is movies like Machete. Machete. He's from Mexico, and he's got a revenge killing. Machete. Runs like, I don't know if you guys saw that Machete movie, but we saw it last night. And he runs like he's fucking, like me. He looks like he's all busted up. So he was hurt the whole movie when he was running. Danny Trujillo, right?
Danny Trejo.
Trejo.
I think.
Danny Trejo finally got his starring role as the weather-beaten Mexican Machete. And you notice something about that, Sam?
What's that?
Doesn't Machete look just like my father?
He does.
He looks just like him, huh? So there you go,
dad.
people. That's what Rocket looks like. He looks like Machete.
Except with an eye patch.
With a fucking eye patch. Can you believe that? And you know, Michelle Rodriguez, hot lesbian, at least from the rib cage down, had an eye patch in the show. What an irony that a hot chick would have an eye patch in the show. Means that caught my attention because also in Kill Bill, what's her name had an eye patch?
Uma Thurman?
No, the tall blonde chick. What's her name? Actress.
Uma Thurman.
No, another blonde, attractive. Daryl Hannah. Her best role, her sexiest fucking role ever, was when she was the Cobra chick. And then at the end, Uma Thurman plucks out her other eye. Now, as a one-eyed guy, that's a fucking fear right there.
So, along the same lines of a pit bull, and I know that we didn't prep this for the show, and so you're probably going to get mad at me for bringing it up, but in Southern California, there was a family that went to visit the mother's grave at a. Did you hear about this?
I cannot believe you're bringing this up. God damn it, Sam. I'm pissed off now. Shit.
They were visiting the mother's grave.
I'm not sure why I'd be mad you'd bring that up. But...
At the cemetery.
Okay.
And they put down the 2-year-old toddler. And guess what happened?
Fell into the grave?
No. A coyote came out of the woods and dragged the little 2-year-old into the woods.
Likely story. Now, it has been proven, Sam. It took 30 years, but it has been concisely proven that a dingo did, in fact, grab the baby. Remember how they accused the mom and dad in Australia when they said the dingo grabbed their baby?
I remember.
They've actually found the remains of that baby, and the post-mortem, 30 years later, a dingo, which is very similar to a jackal. You got to remind me later in the broadcast the tie-in with the word jackal. Love that word, jackal. I almost like the word jackal more than I like the word suction.
I think I know where
Just
you're
depends
going
on who's
with the
saying that.
Jackal.
Yes. What else is in the news, Sam? What moving right along?
Scientists can now plant false memories in your brain.
That's right, ladies and gentlemen. Sam, didn't I mention that? Remember Adam Lanza? Constantly playing video games, masturbating, watching porn.
So you say?
So I say. They set the blink rate. You know, he's playing, just imagine, okay, Adam Lanza, right? Smashes his hard drive. Why the fuck does a retarded guy like that smash his hard drive? What does he have to hide?
He was told to.
He was told to. So he's playing Call of Duty, right? He's half retarded. And when I say retard, you guys, if you got a retarded brother or you're retarded or something, hey, no offense.
Yeah,
I just say retard.
I hate it when you use that word.
Ain't never going to stop. So if you're a retard, just ignore me. But, you know, he's half retarded. He's playing Call of Duty. All of a sudden, because he's got the headset on, you know, all of a sudden a woman's voice. Adam. He's like, hello? Adam. And then they make up some name. This is Samantha. You know, whatever, right? He's like, what the fuck? And so it starts. And she says, you know, don't tell anybody or I'll disappear. And he's like, oh, I won't tell anybody. You know, he's lonely, half retarded. And next thing you know, she says, I'll meet you at the door. So he goes to the door, sprayed with some kind of aerosol chemical that either makes him into a killing machine or makes him into a patsy, a zombie. But scientists have discovered that they can use light, a photo-type trigger, to trigger memory cells within the brain. And they can even produce false memories in your brain.
What does that mean, false memories?
Well, the way they did it, Sam, they used mice, and they gave them electrical shocks. And they taught these mice to be terrified of this one little area, their little compound, their little, you know, habitat that they live in. There's an area that can deliver electric shock. And through repetition, they teach these mice to show a physical reaction when their feet are fucking getting shocked. All you PETA people. Goddamn Gitmo. Some lab somewhere.
Do PETA people have a thing for mice, too?
I don't know. I do enjoy a pita, though. I got to be honest. Pitas are delicious, and they're low in fat.
Yeah, very healthy.
So then they trace out the cells that are being activated during the fear stage of the repetitious floor shocking. Later on, they introduce the mouse to a non-hazardous novel area that he's never seen before, and then they use light to stimulate those cells that were lit up during the fear stage, and they get the same fear reaction from the mice. So in other words, they're planting a memory, is what they're saying, a negative fear memory. Now, I'm not sure about this. It could be that they're just shocking the shit out of them. You know, I mean, it's probably not comfortable to have light poured into your brain. But the difference is with this technology, people, and this is significant, these folks have figured out how to look at the brain from the inside out instead of from the outside in. You know, you always see in the science fiction shows how they got the electrodes hooked up to the guy's head and the waves and all that. But this is different. This is from the inside out, and they're going to be able to create memories. That's coming because that's necessary if you want to put your consciousness into a robot. If you want to download your consciousness into an android being so that you can live eternally and become a god, Lucifer's promise.
Quiet in the studio!
We have a couple of mountain cats. You know what I love about kittens, Sam? It's the frolicking.
They're so cute.
It's funny how a little teeny kitten can just be so happy and just frolic. They're so full of life and they move so quickly. And if there's a noise, they look really fast, and then the next thing you know, they're asleep. Just freaking adorable. Now, I've mourned it and moved on, but I did run over one of our kittens recently.
You did.
It was horrifying.
You ran over Piss.
And what did I do with Piss's body?
You left it in the road.
I left it in the road. I drove around it, but it was right where tires would go, and we've got that kind of dirt road where there's grass in the middle, there's two little things where your tires go. He was right there. Why did I leave him in the road, Sam?
Because you wanted our neighbor to see the kitten, think that they ran over the kitten, and start driving slower down our road to prevent them from hitting our other animals and our dear little puppy.
That's right. And so I left the cat's body in the road purposely. And what did we both notice, Sam?
Well, I noticed when I finally went to scrape her off the road that she was stiff as a board.
No, that's not what I meant.
Oh,
I noticed.
Everybody's driving slower.
Everybody's driving slower.
Yeah.
Why? You know why? Because I noticed that they drove past while the cat was in the road. Now the cat, like I said, just to clarify this, so you understand, this is a little path for each tire on both sides with grass in the middle, like a whole country road. So you cannot miss this cat's body. And I saw him drive, but I didn't see him vary their steering the first time they went by, and I'm pretty sure they drove over it.
So everybody, not everybody, but our neighbors definitely think that they hit the cat and killed our cat.
Well, nonetheless, they had words in their house.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, did you see? What? I'm pretty sure that was one of Rocket's kittens out in the road. Fucking, I ran right over it.
Shit, he's gonna
Was
be
it
over
dead?
there.
I don't know. I just know I drove over. I saw it in the rearview mirror, and when I left this morning, it was still there, and it's a goddamn cat. It's one of those kittens. Lesson learned. Now, see, I could have went over there, knocked on her door, and been an asshole about it. Said,
"Did you run over my kitten?"
No, I ran over. I knew I ran over. But they're gonna run over one of my other animals because they drive through here like it's a goddamn freeway. It's right through my yard, man. You got the right of way.
It's not right through your yard, but it goes right.
It is right through our yard. Our property line goes on the other side of that freaking road another 50 yards, so it goes through our yard. It's right away.
That road does.
But rather than running out there and yelling at them and say, "Hey, you guys need to slow down," and start causing problems with them.
You just throw a dead animal out there.
No, I didn't throw a dead animal. I left a dead animal. Hey, you know what's an irony, Sam?
What's that?
It's very ironic.
What's that?
And I get along with the neighbors, don't I?
Yes.
Guy's friendly to me. Totally decent with the guy. Gay guys. Can you believe that?
Gay men in the woods.
Yeah, a couple of gay guys that live down the road from us.
Brokeback Mountain.
Nice could he's always out there mowing, meticulous yard. Nice guys. I noticed that he always wears clothing with structure. You know what I mean? He doesn't wear a t-shirt. He wears a dress shirt.
Very open.
Yeah. No, they're always well dressed. I go over there the other day. They're making a wine rack together.
I heard
very sweet.
I heard the saw or something.
Yeah, they got a jigsaw and some wood glue, Elmer's glue. They were going at it. The two guys.
They are making a wine.
They're feminine. They're feminine too, by the way.
Are they making
the
one
for
us?
The one guy's more feminine. Pardon?
Are they making one for us?
No, it's for them.
What about for us?
They're pretty self-focused.
Well,
we don't bug each other in the neighborhood. I don't borrow sugar from them. I don't bother them. They returned an arrow that was stuck in the road. I tried to explain that was a abnormality that wasn't going to happen all the time.
It was just a rabid raccoon.
Yeah, it was just stuck in the road. Once again, another road symbol. See? Dead cat, arrow.
This is our road.
Probably don't want to fuck with that dude. Plus, he's huge, and the eye patch is scary as fuck. I'm going to be cool with him, man.
Please treat our road
And when we slaughtered the pigs,
yes,
I brought him a bunch of meat.
We did.
I did. See? I'm a pretty decent guy.
We've given them eggs.
Well, aren't you prejudiced against gay guys? No.
Not if they make me a wine rack.
Baby, you got a rack. No, I'm not prejudiced against gay guys. I just don't like the gay agenda, and I don't want children in school to start having gender identity issues like what's happening. And feminizing the country is not saying that women are causing all the problems. It's feminization. It's unfortunate. And, just because I put a really boring thing on my show the other day, it was for the smart people, it was that guy talking, and he covered that. Just because you talk about feminism to highlight it and bring it to people's attention doesn't mean you advocate for or against it.
That is
just
true.
Merely observing. And I'm telling you guys, at the end of the road, when the New World Order is in charge, it'll be all women. It'll be all women and feminine men, because masculinity is frowned upon, and the only masculine person that's left is the state. And speaking of masculinity, because people think masculine and feminine, that just means male and female, and that's not true. Wine is considered feminine, where a stone in the road is considered masculine. So there are masculine and feminine traits. You could review one of my earlier shows where I explain ad nauseum what's happening to our country. But speaking of macho masculinity, I love Putin. Not in a biblical way, but God, I like that guy. I'd totally be a Russian now. I would. Snowden escapes to Russia. Fucking national hero. We're in big trouble, people. So what do? They put up blimps over Washington, D.C. for cruise missiles. That's what they say.
Didn't Snowden finally get his papers?
He's being allowed to stay in the Soviet Union, in Russia. And, Putin...
temporarily, though. I mean, he's received temporary asylum in Russia, and his lawyer has flown into Russia, but I thought that he had actually received amnesty paperwork.
I'm not sure what the details are. I know he's at the airport in Russia. That must be a nightmare. And, he's left his life and stuff. That guy's a hero. He's probably the greatest American hero we've had in the last century. He should get the Nobel Peace Prize. He should be hailed as an American hero. And after the revolution, he'll probably go down in history as like a Paul Revere. What that guy did took so much guts and sacrifice. I mean, his father, I saw an interview with his dad. He's just a really smart guy. He doesn't even have a high school diploma. He's working for a NSA contractor.
What about that beautiful model stripper chick he left behind?
Yeah. Guy left I didn't know that. Now,
oh, yeah.
See what I'm saying?
Hawaii.
What, sacrificed the guy left behind?
She was a model or a stripper.
Models are pain in the ass. You take them out to dinner, they can't eat anything. And they're always saying, am I fat? And then they go to bed, they got goddamn cotton gloves on with some kind of cream underneath. And cream on their eyes and cucumber slices. It's just
and
not
this
worth
is
it.
based on your experience with the mini models.
So, I got a busload of ex-wives following me around. But back to this macho thing, Obama threatened Putin with sanctions. And, there's more American companies doing business in Russia than the other way around. So it's such a disgusting, weak. And, there's a picture of Obama with like a limp wrist. And then Putin is dragging out a fucking pike, a northern pike out of the water. Every time I see Putin, he's doing something. He's flying an ultralight. He's chopping some wood. He plays hockey, for God's sakes. What, Sam? What can I say?
I know that's not.
Guy plays hockey.
That's not a pussy's game.
He's amazing. I know he's a KGB bastard, communist all the way. But so are we. We're communists all the way, and now we've become the evil empire. And can you imagine that in Russia is now the new pillar of freedom? Did you know that in Russia they have anti-homosexual agenda laws?
Love that.
Yeah. Can you believe that? Well, that's cool. Yeah, all the libtards, you got to be careful. There's a thing called the pendulum swing. Now, I covered this briefly. If you guys noticed, I've been including some little tidbits about the Zimmerman case. After really going through all the audio to put together a package, to put together a show, I listened to a ton of stuff on the Trayvon Martin. Abso-fucking-lutely the most confused and lied about and twisted stories. He wasn't white. He wasn't stalking them. He wasn't told to not follow him. He was on the bottom. He was being beaten. Trayvon was a thug. Trayvon and his dad were arranging buying weapons
Trayvon had been fighting several times, even fought an adult bus driver. He's kicked out of school with burglary tools and stolen shit in a neighborhood he doesn't live, walking between two houses, getting away, gets away. Zimmerman, the big murderer, on the phone with the cops. That'd be dumb. I got away. These assholes always get away. These guys that are breaking into people's houses had the whole goddamn neighborhood terrified. So Zimmerman, it gets put on, he's a cop wannabe. No, he wanted to do the right thing. He had the balls to say, okay, I'll do it. They were terrified by a pit bull, but nobody cares about that. Let's show pictures of Trayvon when he's 12 fucking years old. Liars! Who's in control of the media, Sam? What race of people control the media? Jews. I hate to be that way, but ain't it the truth? Because they distorted that whole thing, man.
I have 2 comments. The first, is that okay if I comment?
Yeah, you're a co-host. Type in.
The first comment is that the whole Zimmerman trial, the whole Trayvon Martin thing, it really kind of blew up in everybody's face. I mean, really expected lots of riots and lots of backlash and lots of, this is going to be the false flag that raises everybody up into a big fuss. And it just kind of fizzled. I mean, it was just sort of like, you don't even hear about it in the news anymore.
The media couldn't whip it up into riots. Obama couldn't whip up the riots. Shame on those people for all their division. Shame on Al Sharpton. Shame on Jesse Jackson. Shame on Trayvon Martin's parents. Shame on Trayvon Martin's father. You want to call him a kid? Okay, then he's a kid. Then where's the dad? He's in there hugging him with his sideways hat on, explaining how thug culture is so normal. You old school. I'm new school. We new school. And then everybody in the courtroom applauded because it's so cute and funny and Arsenio Hall-like. It's great. It's thug culture. What up, G? Hey, Ice-T, what's happening, thug?
So that was my
Hey, wait,
first
speaking
comment.
of thug culture.
Yeah.
I don't know if you're aware, Sam, but the Rocket Radio Show is a collection of eclectic artists.
It is.
We have some of the most wonderful people on our show.
We do.
We have a trance segment that's coming that's going to knock your socks off by Psycho Dark.
Ooh,
Guy has his
Psycho
own
Dark.
Spreaker channel. Amazing. He's an amazing artist. He's super talented. People think they can sing or people think they can play guitar. It's one thing to maybe think you can sing or think you can play guitar, but it's another thing to actually be able to sing and play guitar and orchestrate a band and orchestrate songs in such a wonderful way. Closest thing I can think of when I hear a Psycho Dark's music is like 9 Inch Nails.
Nice.
He's an amazing talent. He's going to be a big star.
Check him out.
He's doing trance. He's working on a trance show. And I love the guy, and I consider him a friend. I don't know if you saw at the end of Dancing with Wolves. I kind of feel like Psycho Dark, like that guy at the end where he goes up to the top, yells, "Psycho Dark is my friend. I claim him as my friend, and I speak it unto the four winds.
Aww,
And the great spirit in the sky, better than my brother, better than my grandfather, better than the chief, better than the medicine man, better than the mightiest warrior. For he unto him is my friend."
Oh, that's sweet.
I always wondered on Dancing with Wolves, why didn't the guy say, "No problem, you too, bro"? Nah, he just rode away with this Indian squaw chick who was white.
So, my second comment.
Oh, hey, I got to mention this.
Yeah, please.
We do, so we have a lot of eclectic artists, and I try to mix up the music component on the show to give you variety. I give you that ubiquitous randomness that people love.
Ooh.
Ubiquitous randomness.
Ubiquitous randomness. I love
But we
it
had
when
Tech
you
Nine
speak
on the
Latin.
show. Tech Nine? If you're into it, we actually played songs from Tech Nine that aren't even released yet. That's how hot off the press Rocket Radio Show components are. We have an eclectic group of artists. like I said, an amazing music. However, I want to say something that I noticed, and I got to say this. I freaking love Tech Nine. The guys, if I'm going to listen to hip-hop, that's what I want to listen to. But you know what I heard him say yesterday in the lyrics?
Oh, jeez, what?
Black people need reparations. They're waiting on their reparations. So Tech Nine is waiting for their reparations for slavery when they were never slaves, and nobody that's alive was ever a slave owner. But you know, the pendulum can swing both ways.
Right.
And it's time for the white people to be destroyed. If you want to know what's going to happen with that, think about it this way. Go look at South Africa. And you find out what's going to happen to you white people. And you know, Jews, Zionists, don't consider white people Jews. They're not Jews. There's white people and Jews. They see themselves as different from that. You're Goyim. It's like infidels. Goddamn religious freaks. So white people, you're going to be the minority. And you know, what do they want to do? What are they talking about in South Africa? Nationalization. Why should anybody be allowed to own all this property, all these colonialist bastards? Now that America's broke, we're not going to be a colonialist country anymore either, taking advantage of everybody. It's so unfair, Sam. It's been unfair for a long time. It's time for the white people to pay up. It's time for the white people to go to the back of the bus. It's time for the white people to go around the back of the building. Because we're pissed off, Sam. I'm pretty sure my great-great-great-grandfather was a slave, and that's bullshit. Even Thomas Jefferson was boning a slave, according to Susan Powder. That evil Thomas Jefferson that provided one of the greatest and freest and most prosperous countries in the history of the world. That evil white slave owner. That's all I noticed about it. Get on the bandwagon and start bashing the Founding Fathers. You know what, Sam? I don't tolerate Founding Father bashing. I just don't. Because they made an amazing country for us. An amazing country for us. You know, something else I was interested in. I'd like to talk about Spreaker. Sam, you got your iPad there?
I do.
I do. I want to teach the audience something, and I kind of hope that someone from Spreaker hears this show. This might be my last show on Spreaker. But you have Spreaker on.
I do.
The Spreaker, you got to understand something about Spreaker, Sam. If I had to explain it, it's like this. Spreaker works like this. Let's say that you want to sell a truck, and you want to put it on Craigslist. Say Spreaker is Craigslist. The only problem, okay, we've got goddamn freeway traffic going by the studio. I'm picking up speed again.
Better throw another dead animal out there.
Once again, Spreaker is like Craigslist, selling a truck. The only rub is, the only people that are allowed to buy your truck are other people that are selling their cars. Just imagine if you went to Craigslist because you're selling your truck, and the only people that could buy your truck are other people with ads on to sell their vehicles. There's nobody from the public. It's all a bunch of other people selling their cars. Now, maybe somebody out there who's selling a car might want to buy a car. Maybe you could find a car and you could trade. Maybe you could trade your car for their car, but there's just no public. That's how Spreaker is. The people that are listening to your fucking little teeny tiny little pathetic radio stations are other Spreaker people.
Well, that
it's
doesn't seem
such
right.
a fucking fraud. You know, Spreaker, search the internet for your guys' name. You're not doing shit for advertising, and you just got $1 million. Who did you get $1 million from, Spreaker? Well, if you don't like the service rocket, you could just go. Yeah, that's how we do it. You don't like it, we turn around and go. Don't tell anybody. Shh. Keep it a secret. They got Israeli money. I know that for one thing. It's an Italian company, and they've got some kind of building in San Francisco that's supposed to be their address. But I'm finding some very odd things about the numbers, particularly the popularity thing.
Okay.
Let's talk about the popularity.
Please. You were quite popular in the last few days.
Oh, yeah. Yep. Up and down, jockeying for position with the behemoth. Speaking of behemoths, let's just go. What I'd like to do, I know you're already there. Let's pick a popular show. All right. What show's always number one on, I know which one. Starts with a G. Middle is M. The last one is N. You figure it out. Okay, that show. Go ahead and click on that.
Got it.
Popular live show. It's always at the top.
Right.
Okay, now you're looking at it. Now we need to announce something. Spreaker's made some changes, Sam.
They have.
Yeah, you know why?
Why is that?
So that chicken shits like this channel here, how many subscribers do they have, followers?
Followers, 1,924.
Yeah, they have 1,920. Man, that's a popular channel. And plus it's in a popular position. It must be a good show. All these other fucks on page 7 and 8, 9, and 10 are not even going to get looked at. It's too tedious to go page after page after page after page to find your little shitty radio station way back over there where you have 7 listeners. But this one's popular. This one's super popular. How many followers they got?
1,924.
Okay, they changed the format. You know why?
Why?
Because now it hides who you're following. You don't see the number anymore. Because if you could, this person right here is following like 10 fucking thousand people. How many people we follow? And I can tell you right now, it's like 7. You know why, Sam? You know why, Sam?
Why?
Because what you do is you're on Craigslist and you're selling your truck. And you want to sell your fucking truck. So what you do is contact other people that are selling their trucks just on the off chance they might want to buy your truck. Hey, man, I have a great radio station. You want to listen to it? Hey, Susan Powder, I love your show. Stop by Rocket Radio Show sometime. It's really good.
So
it's all networking.
So basically,
there's no fucking public. And they're not advertising to the public. When I mention Spreaker to the public, they say, Speaker? What's that? So I would like to meet someone in the public that actually fucking knows who it is.
So basically what
I'm
you're
seeing
saying...
.com bubble weirdness going on, Sam. So they changed the format of Spreaker. Why? It's to hide how many subscribers that you, as a radio show, have subscribed to in an effort to get these other fucks, not Joe P. citizens, other radio shows to just follow you back. It's a click scam, Sam. And I can prove it. All right, on that particular Simeon-labeled show, how many followers they got?
1,924.
Okay, go ahead and click to the followers. Let's see who the followers are. Go ahead. Watch how this works. Get a list, right?
I do.
Okay, it's just a short list, right? Runs off the page. You can't go anywhere with it. So now you have no fucking clue who do they follow. You can't tell they have 10,000 clicks to get mutual people to click back. But okay, Sam, no bullshit. On my mother's grave, read some of the names at the top of the followers. Go ahead. Mohammed, something what?
Norua.
Okay, today, Sam. What's the next name?
Khalid.
Amar. Okay.
Norhan. Guido.
Guido what?
Guido Foreman.
Mimi
Kerrigan.
What kind of names are those? Because you're pronouncing them horribly.
Thank you. They're all foreign. They're all
okay.
Muslim.
Okay, you got like 5 or 6 fucking Muslim channels watching Guerrilla Media. Can you believe that? All right, they're Muslim guys. Go ahead and click down to like the 3rd or 4th one. Any one of them will do. Go ahead and click down to the 3rd, 4th one.
You want me to click on it?
Yeah, that's what click down to the 3rd, 4th one, click on it means. Okay, you're clicked on it. Go ahead and play what they're playing. Go ahead. They got a little show. Let's hear what they're saying. This is a PS follower. Here we go. What are they playing? What are they saying? Let's listen, people. This is one of the subscribers. Okay, fucking Arabic. I already asked the guy, because I went around, I asked the first 12 people on there, do you guys speak English? None of them speak English. Let me get this straight. You've got a fucking laundry list of Arabic people subscribing to a truth show in America. They don't even speak English. It's a fucking fraud.
It is a fraud.
And you know what? Spreaker knows all about it. Because I complained about it and they don't fucking care. It's the truth whether you like it or not. It's fraud. Okay, now, we're going to go back to the next thing. Go ahead and go back to their main channel. We're still picking on this one fucking filthy show. I want to explain the facts of life to the listeners. You're going to love this.
Okay.
Okay, now we have a new function. This is really wonderful. See where it says tracks?
I do.
Go ahead and press that. Watch this, people. You're going to love this. All right, now you get a list of all the shows, right?
Right.
Okay, if you look on the shows, there's likes, there's comments, and there's views. You see that, right?
Right.
Okay, we're talking about the blah, blah, blah media network. We know about who we're looking at. Okay. I want you to tell me the numbers just down the list of the viewers. Go ahead, rattle them off.
3 likes. 1
Speak
like.
into the microphone and do it quicker.
3, 1, 0, 0.
Okay, no, those are likes. Listen to me. I want you to play the views, the numbers.
941, 1003, 340, 70, 1964, 645, 10,000. Or I'm sorry, 1,000, 177, 1271. What is the point?
Well, when you read it like that, you can't understand it. There's a fucking pattern there. There's 1,000 variable. I'll make it up, okay?
Oh, yeah. There's
200 views, 300 views, 340, 350, 280, 1,300. Out of the blue.
I can see, I mean,
Okay,
right here.
stop talking for a second. When you look at the ones with 1,300 views as opposed to the one with 70 views, are there any fucking comments? No, there's one staff comment. Are there any real people comments? No. How many likes does a show with 1,300 fucking views have on it?
1.
1. We have a show with 245 views. How many likes are on it? 10. How is it possible for a person to have 1,300 views? Now, yesterday they had 300 views. Today they have 1,300. There's no change in the interaction between the audience and the show. How's that possible? I'll tell you how it's possible. Cha-ching, cha-ching, cha-ching. It's called click farming. It's complete fraud. And you know, if the world was ready, this guy's ready to go to syndication. That's such a lie. He doesn't want to go to syndication. This show, whatever it's doing, is serving a purpose of some kind. And what the audience needs to know, and I don't care about this. I talked to some people about even talking about this today on the show, and they said, you should let that go. I'm going to let it go, but you know what? Fuck all that shit. Guy called me a fag, told me I'm addicted to drugs, talking smack to my old lady. Why should I hide the truth from the people? I can let it all hang out now, dude. You let it all out. Let's let it all out. So you want to go to syndication. That's a lie. What purpose is this serving? What purpose could this show be serving? Because people, you got to understand something. This shit's like Craigslist. There's no public listening. The only ones fucking listening are people with goddamn Spreaker shows. How many people in the goddamn world on the internet? 55 bazillion, right? 580 billion people. I don't know what the fuck it was, but you know when there was the dot-com bubble? You know what caused the dot-com bubble, Sam?
What?
Was the stupidity thinking, well, I'll just sell dog food on the internet. There's 10,000 zillion billion people. We'll make a fortune. And they sold stocks and did all this shit and raised the economy, and all of a sudden, poof. You know why, Sam? Try it. Make a web page. See how many people go to it. Zip. Look how many people are watching our fucking show. A professionally broadcasted show with professional performers, professional entertainment. Not some fucking dude in his garage going goo goo gaga on the fucking. Not some dude cocking his weapon for lack of talent. Look how many listeners. 240. Real listeners. I got 240 people really listening. I buy those motherfuckers. It's sad. So what does that mean? Well, since only people selling their cars on Craigslist can buy the cars that are for sale on Craigslist, it's a sham. So you know what you do? You make as many goddamn accounts as you can. Look at Spreaker. Go through the shows. Hundreds and hundreds and hundreds. Go look at one. 70% of them are garbage. But of course, they just got $1 million in angel money. It's not honest, man. The popularity on here ain't honest. The views aren't honest. The followers aren't honest. And now they've figured out a way to hide the followers. How many people did you follow? Oh, look at Rocket Show. He's got 1,000 followers. Of course, he's following 26,000 other channels. So I'll click you, you click me back. I'll give you some love, you give me some love. That's not a goddamn listener.
Well, that's why we
It's
are.
fraud.
That's why we're so grateful for the people that do listen to our show.
But that's not what I'm talking about. My people that listen to me all the time, they know I'm grateful. I'm fucking calling them. I'm calling it. It's fraud. It's fake. It's phony. It's detestable for a truther. Their whole crew's down with that. You're all down with it. It's cool. Even Christian people are down with it. Whatever it takes. You're never, ever, ever going to amount to anything. Never. There is a cunt here, of a cunt here, of a cunt here, of a slice, of a nano slice of the population listening to your radio show, Pete. Nothing. But we make this big bravado. Oh, we're on this network, or on that one. We haven't got kicked off here yet. And, you know, I'll say stupid shit and get a bunch of attention and become the most hated man in America, but it is attention. And maybe this little tiny little cunt here of a fucking radio show, nothing, could spread like wildfire. So everybody chip in. The big money's coming. The investors come. Well, the investor fell through. But this is coming. We're going to get picked up. Stern is calling. What's the real reason behind all that? And how does a personality stay so Teflon? You know, I haven't listened to the show in like 2 weeks. I've been taking a break, Sam.
Well, that's good.
But I popped in. You know what I heard?
What's that?
I heard the show host harassing the FBI on the phone.
Again?
Yeah. You know, farts and giggles, bananas and giggles. Ha ha ha! Hey, FBI, yeah, they're ruining America. What do you think about that? And the guy's like, okay, well,
Do you have
know,
Prince
it's your opinion.
Albert in the can?
Guy's bulletproof. He can do and say whatever he wants.
Why is that?
I don't know.
He's FBI.
I don't know. Shares his computer with everybody. Get everybody involved. Get a big network. I'm thinking Pied Piper. I don't know. None of it makes any sense. Why do this? Why go through this facade every day? You know, motherfucker, you think I can't support my family? Bro, you're so bloodthirsty for money. It's so obvious. I'm kicked back, bro. I don't need it. So, I'm sorry that you have to be a crocodile to make it happen. And any investor, let me say that, okay, Sam, my Rocket Radio Show takes off, right?
Right.
All my numbers are fucking phony. Oh, I got 600,000. And then, you know, this bullshit is saying on the air that there's 600,000 people listening. No, they've listened over time.
Right.
Supposedly. But, you know, at 2 cents a pop, you can get 1,000 views a day for $20. That adds up after a while. Get you up in the popular thing. You don't think Spreaker knows about that? They know about it. They got angel money that they need to subsidize. It's horrible. Now, there are other servers to go to. You can go somewhere else, and probably will. My intention is to do my own server. I'm not beholden to nobody. And I smell a bad smell. And you know what else, Sam, I don't understand about this whole thing? I was called a cocksucker.
Right.
I was called a motherfucker.
Right.
A traitor.
Right.
A coward.
Right.
Drug addict.
Right.
Piece of shit.
Right.
Horrible. Your show was no good. You never worked. But you know what?
What?
My archives are still up there. You're a cocksucker, but I'm not taking your show down. Your show was horrible, but I'm going to keep it in my archives. It's cool. I don't care. And you know what else, too, Sam?
What?
I had a fan call me.
I love that.
Fans always call and rat people out. Apparently, the new YouTube videos for this particular station we're talking about, they look just like my old YouTube videos.
Oh, really?
I'm flattered. They got some other fuck trying to reproduce that look. It's cool.
It's because you were the Picasso of radio.
Not anymore. Well, it still says that on my archives, but not out of the mouth. See, because you know what? It's better? Just kill the guy's character. You know, when in doubt, kill his character. That's what you do. It has nothing to do with the work. It has nothing to do with somebody just waking the fuck up and going, what the fuck is this shit all about? Well, wait a second. This is click farming. Well, yeah. So what? Everybody's doing it. Well, our show's going to get huge. It's never going to get huge. Ever. And eventually, you guys are going to realize it's just a hobby. But hopefully, in the meantime, there wasn't some specific purpose for that. Because the way I see it is this. I've already explained it to you. Maybe you don't believe me. I don't give a fuck. There ain't nobody listening to Spreaker. Hardly none. There just ain't. And so out of the people that are listening, obviously, the entire list on their followers list are fucking Arabs that don't speak English. But okay, how many parts of the listening audience of this micro cunt here of an audience on Spreaker are far-right wingnuts, Sam? I bet it's a small, teeny, tiny percentage of a teeny, tiny little percentage of viewers are right-wing wingnuts. And I'm not talking about the cast of regulars who constantly call in there.
The troop.
Yeah, the troop. The followers, the believers, the disciples.
The brainwash.
It's so pathetic. It is so obvious and pathetic. But, you know, the masquerade must go on. Shame on all you people that you know better. At least I had the balls to get the fuck out of there once I realized it. But you know what? You guys know better and you're still there. Perpetuating this fraud. Hopefully an advertiser doesn't spend money based on some kind of numbers they get. You think the advertiser will find out?
Well, eventually. I mean, the advertiser pulls out because they're like, dude, we're not getting any hits off of your show. Am I wrong?
No, you're not wrong. I'm just disgusted with the whole thing. And I hope it's a big bummer. I don't fucking care. It's just pathetic. Pathetic. Why can't you just let your shit stand on your work? Why not just have a good show and bring in real viewers that are really watching the show and enjoying it? Just for, I don't know, just for enjoyment's sake. Why does it have to be we got to hit the big time? It's like some half good-looking kid going to Hollywood to be a star. It's not going to happen, dude. Strike a lightning and it's not going to happen. And people with respect and intelligence and integrity, they don't want to talk to people that talk like that. Most of the guests on there are just fools. They don't even know what they're getting themselves involved with. That guy Jeff, whatever his name is, you don't know what the fuck he's getting himself in. You never listen to the show. You can tell. You don't have any idea who he's talking to. Sounds good. Sounds provocative. Let's get him on. They don't care about his listeners. They don't give one fucking flying fuck about their listeners. So on a happier note, Sam.
Yes.
I put together a horror movie.
Oh, I like that.
On the air for the radio show.
Fantastic.
It'll be playing in the night gallery position. The Evil Dead.
The remake of The Evil Dead.
It is the remake
the 2013
of The Evil
version,
Dead.
Right?
Digitally enhanced.
Great movie.
By Rocket. It's a wonderful entertainment of radio theater. You can just kick back. Hopefully you have headphones to catch the subtle nuances.
Of all the different sound effects. It's amazing, and we're going to do more of that.
I'm looking forward to having some trance music in the future here by Psycho Dark. Just throw it in my box, buddy.
Psycho Dark.
And also, we have had a daily scrap pile by Mr. E. Amazing artist.
Great.
And one man bringing his perspective and making a well-rounded group of eclectic artists. Rocket Radio Show's the shit. You're not going to hear it anywhere else. And I am going to tell you the truth. But I'm going to tell you the real truth. Nobody's co-opted here. No sponsors telling me what to do. Sorry. Anything else in the news, Sam?
No, that's it. I think we can wrap it up tonight.
Ladies and gentlemen, stay tuned. This segment is going to end, and then the next segment will be part 1 of The Evil Dead. You guys are going to love it.
And we'll see you next time. Say goodnight, Sam.
Good night, Sam.
Don't miss the Night Gallery and watch for our morning zoo show in the morning.
You're going to love it with the Attack Walrus. We'll also be having the lunch break. That's music.
And we're building up to our live show. That's right, live. We'll be on live with a bunch of phones. You can call us in and give us problems.
And don't forget the Boom Boom Room.
And the Boom Boom Room. A bunch of different things. Exciting, Sam. Super exciting. We'll see you next time.
Good night, everybody. Good night, everybody. Good night, everybody. Good night.
심장이 터져버리는 선어해 그런 선어해 선어해 낮에는 너만큼 따사로운 그런 선어해 커피 식기도 전에 원샷 때리는 선어해 What you came here to do? Gangnam Style Gangnam Style Gangnam Style machine.
Hi, my name is Bam Bam Bam.
Spaghetti.
find this?
As we go a little something like this.
You're listening to the Rocket Radio Show, only on Rocket Radio.
All systems are go. Check this out.
You're watching the Rocket Radio Show.
First of all, you create the problem, but you get someone else to be blamed for it. First of all, you create the problem, but you get someone else to be blamed for it. You then report that problem through the media in the way you want it reported. Then you get the public to react to your problem by saying something must be done, this can't go on. What are they gonna do about it? And at that point, they, who have covertly created the problem and blame someone else, who glean that reaction of do something, then offer the solution to the problems they have created.
Problem, reaction, solution. Problem, reaction, solution. Problem, reaction, solution. Problem, reaction, solution.
And it works like this.
You've got the big central banks that took over at the turn of the last century. Started printing the money. They own the money machines that print the money. If a country doesn't accept their central banks, the enemy has been involved in terrorism, giant attack fleets or landing, save them. The whole place is obliterated so that IMF and World Bank can come in and totally slay the population, and vaccinations start. Suddenly everybody's sterilized and all the kids have got autism, and we're here to help you. The soldiers are all dying for depleted uranium and sarin and DX in the vaccine, for depleted uranium and sarin and DX in the vaccine. Vaccinations start. Suddenly everybody's sterilized and all the kids have got autism, and we're here to help you. We're here to help you. We're here to help you. The New World Order. You know, there's certain species of insects that are laid into other living insects, larger insects, and the babies hatch out and eat the inside of it out and then break it open and fly off. You just see this dead beetle, this husk laying there. That's what America is. We've got all these eggs in us. They're growing real fast. We're at death point. The country's probably going to die, folks. We're at death point. We're at death point. The New World Order is going to bust out of that using all our energy to set up the global empire, to smash and destroy and mini-nuke everyone. We're at death point. The country's probably going to die, folks. We're at death point. We're at death point.
Problem, reaction, solution. Problem, reaction, solution. Problem, reaction, solution. Problem, reaction, solution.
And it works like this.
And in the UN, the EU could stand back and say, we are fighting against these evil right-wing Americans. When in reality, again, the creature that laid the eggs in us is sitting right over there in Europe. You understand this, folks? You understand this? And so it points at us. The system, the beast system, points at America and goes, look at that beetle. It's spinning all over the place and going crazy and biting everyone. And then when they're done with us, the brood hatches out, total global domination, total enslavement of you and your family.
What is the world's enemy?
The world's enemy. The word says, don't be surprised, my brothers, if the world hates you. Because we have not received the spirit of the world, but the Spirit who is from God. Anyone who loves the world, the love of the Father is not in him. The world and its desires shall pass away, but the man who does the will of God lives forever. Because you are not of the world, and therefore the world hates you. And if the world hates you, know that it hated me first. We are the world's enemy.
Do you ever feel like the world's enemy? Well, come visit me every Sunday on the Mobile Christ Ministry, only on Rocket Mobile Radio.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to a special edition of the Scrap Pile. Tonight is Scrap Pile Theater, and I will be taking you back to the year 1941. With the inner sanctum, the dead laugh last. As part of the Radio Mystery Theater, this episode of Inner Sanctum was broadcast. It's a triangle tale of a man, a woman, and a murderer. Don't mess with a ghost, because a ghost always gets the last laugh. On with the show!
Good evening, creeps. Tonight, your Mystery Playhouse invites you to listen to Inner Sanctum Mysteries. Come on out, Mr. Host.
Good evening, friends of the Inner Sanctum. This is your host to welcome you through the squeaking door. Well, been shopping around for a nice case of murder? Of course you have. And you've come to the right place because the characters on this program simply kill themselves to keep you amused. Why, only the other day we were accused of making murder our business. But we wouldn't do that, friend. Oh, no. Because that would be mixing business with pleasure. And we consider it a pleasure to give some stiff for business. And now, friends, tonight's story is a triangle tale concerning a man, a woman, and a murderer. You've heard it said that those who laugh last laugh best. But we're going to prove that it never pays to get into a laughing contest with a ghost. Because ghosts always get the last laugh.
I know he's dead. His body's been in the grave for weeks. Yet, although I tell myself it's impossible, I can hear him laugh. That raucous, mocking sound haunts me. Same laughter I heard for the first time in the courtroom. He had never laughed during all the weeks of the trial. Never even smiled. This day, when he came before me for sentencing. John Spencer, you have been found guilty of murder in the first degree. You wish to make a statement before sentence is imposed?
I killed Hicks. I'm willing to admit it now. But he was no good. He got just what he deserved. And everybody knows it. I'm not a killer. I never committed a crime before. And all I ask now is a chance.
John Spencer, the jury took all that into consideration when it recommended life imprisonment. However, I have the power to ignore that recommendation. It is my firm conviction that to allow one man to take the law into his own hands is to encourage others to do likewise. I therefore override the recommendation of the jury and sentence you to be hung by the neck until dead.
No. Judge, please. I've got a girl. We were going to be married. All I ask is to live so I can see her once in a while.
You should have thought of that before you committed murder.
It's easy for you to tell me what I should have done. But you won't always be on top. Maybe someday you'll be down here where I am. When that happens, I hope they throw the book at you just like you're doing to me.
Bailiff, remove the prisoner.
Won't I be laughing when that happens? Wherever I am, I'll be laughing fit to buzz.
Same old story. Prisoner pleads innocence or guilty with good cause. Asks mercy. When clemency is refused, condemned man curses judge and hopes that judge will someday find himself in a similar plight. Spencer's outburst failed to move me in the slightest. I'd heard it many times before. I went home to forget about the Spencer case.
Richard? Is that you, Richard?
Yes, dear. I'll come in as soon as I've freshened up.
Come right now. I've been waiting here all day. Surely it's not too much to ask to do.
All right, Laura, I'm coming.
Richard, I want you to meet my new nurse, Margaret Cummings. This is Judge Thornton that's coming. How do you do?
Miss Cummings, haven't we met before?
That's hardly likely. It's probably my face. It's so ordinary.
On the contrary, Miss Cummings. I should say your face is rather unusual.
Richard, suppose you stop that silly chatter about faces and talk to Miss Cummings about her duty.
Very well. Come into my study, Miss Cummings. We can talk better there. Sit down, please. There's not much to say, really. In the first place, my wife's heart condition isn't really dangerous.
Yes, I gathered that from Dr. Fletcher.
Oh, he told you about my wife, eh?
Oh, yes.
You're a professional person, nurse, and I believe in frankness. It makes things easier. My wife is 11 years my senior, getting on past middle age. She, is a bit worried. Not that I give her any grounds for it. Jealous. You understand?
Perfectly.
She's not an easy person to get along with. You'll have to humor her.
I'll do my best.
And, Miss Cummings.
Yes.
I was just wondering where it was that I saw you before. Escapes me. You know, Miss Cummings, your face is rather haunting. That was how it began. We played a game during those first few weeks. I would ask, Miss Cummings, where was it that I first saw you?
Don't you remember yet?
No, I don't.
Well, I do. And someday, if you're nice, I'll tell you.
We would laugh together. Having the girl in the house made me feel young again. But it didn't last. It ended one evening in Laura's room.
Richard,
Yes, dear.
put down that newspaper. I want to talk to you.
I'm listening.
Don't you think you're going a bit too far, Richard?
Too far. What do you mean?
I mean Miss Cummings.
Oh.
I won't stand for it. I won't allow you to disgrace me in my own home with a woman who's little more than a servant.
Oh, Laura, for heaven's sake.
I may be a bedridden invalid, but there is a limit.
You're jumping to ridiculous conclusions, Laura.
Ridiculous, am I? I suppose you'll deny you're in love with Miss Cummings. That you've been carrying on with her right under my nose.
Certainly I'll deny it.
I've got eyes, Richard. I've seen you two whispering together. I've watched how you look.
Oh, you're talking utter nonsense. There's nothing between me and Miss Cummings.
Nothing?
Nothing. Absolutely nothing.
Well, then, I'll give you a chance to prove what you say. I don't want Miss Cummings here. Dismiss her.
You want me to dismiss her?
Yes, Richard. I do.
Miss Cummings, well, this is going to be rather unpleasant. You see my wife?
Yes, I know. She wants me to leave.
Yes. How did you know?
I couldn't help overhearing the conversation.
Well, then you also know why she wants you to leave.
Yes. But you warned me when I first came here that she was jealous.
It's been very pleasant having you here.
Thank you.
I'm going to miss you. Miss Cummings, could I have your home address?
Of course. Why do you want it?
I hope you won't think me presumptuous, but, well, perhaps we might be able to see each other.
Would that be wise?
No, it wouldn't be wise. But I might as well face it. I couldn't hide it from Laura, and now I can't hide it from myself. I love you, Miss Cummings. That matter heard Spencer's laugh for the first time since the day in the courtroom. I set it down as a figment of the imagination born out of a feeling of guilt due to my disloyalty to Laura. I put it out of my mind. I had other things to think about. The slip of paper with Margaret Cummings' address on it was in my pocket. A dozen times during the next week I picked the telephone to call her, but something held me back. It was fear, I guess. Fear that if I saw her again, I would be taking a final, irrevocable step. And then I couldn't stand it any longer without seeing her. I dialed her number.
Hello?
Is
that you, Margaret?
Yes, who is this?
This is Richard.
Richard?
Judge Thornton.
Oh, hello. How are you? It's been so long, I thought you'd forgotten me.
There's little chance of that. Could I see you tonight, Margaret?
Why, yes, of course. Come over as soon as you like.
I dressed carefully. Examining myself in the mirror, I saw a tall man, still on the right side of 50. Still trim in figure and distinguished in appearance. When I got to Margaret's apartment, my heart was beating fast. Like a boy on his first date. Somehow, I don't know quite how it happened. She was in my arms. I was kissing her.
Oh, Richard.
My darling.
Oh, no, we're being foolish.
Sit down, darling. Here, beside me.
Like this?
That's perfect. Margaret. Would you marry me?
Mary, you can't be serious.
I was never more in earnest in my life.
Aren't you forgetting a little detail?
No. I'm not forgetting about Laura. She has a weak heart. She may die. And if she does...
I wouldn't count on it. Your wife takes very good care of herself. She may live to be 100.
But if she should die, would you marry me?
I don't know. It's not fair to ask me now. Not while your wife is still alive. Ask me later.
Oh, Richard. You have a pleasant evening at the club?
I didn't go to the club, Laura.
No.
No. I lied to you. I spent the evening with Margaret Cummings.
Richard.
You were right. I'm in love with her. I never knew what love meant before. I can't live without her.
You're mad. You don't know what you're saying.
I want a divorce, Laura.
Divorce? No.
I want it immediately.
You can't do this to me. Oh, my heart.
What?
Now see what you've done.
Laura.
Oh, the shock. My pills, Richard. Give them to me. Hurry. Hurry, Richard.
I knew she was pretending the heart attack.
Oh, Richard.
Hoping to play on my sympathy. That was Laura's favorite trick. It always worked before. Not this time. This time I would pretend until I was ready to act. I gave her the pills, watched her take them and sink back on the pillow.
Oh. Thank you, Richard.
Feel better now?
Yes, dear, much better. I don't know what I'd have done without you here. I would have died. Oh, Richard, say you didn't mean what you said before. Don't you see I couldn't go on living without you?
You won't have to, Laura.
Then you won't leave me for that girl.
I'll take care of you. Here, let me make you more comfortable. Pillow needs rearranging.
Yes, it does. Richard, what are you doing?
I'm fixing the pillow.
I don't want to say.
Lie still. Stop twisting around. This isn't much different from a heart attack. Laura? She's dead. Dr. Fletcher?
Yes?
This is Judge Thornton. Please come quickly, Doctor. My wife has had a heart attack.
It happened during an argument.
It was nothing important, Doctor. Just a domestic quarrel. And suddenly she had the attack. I gave her the pills, but by that time it was too late.
It's too bad.
I'd only known that a condition had become so dangerous.
Oh, Judge, you've nothing to reproach yourself for. These things happen.
Will you take care of the formalities, Doctor?
Oh, yes, of course.
The death certificate?
I'll list the cause as failure of the heart.
There was no need to act the part of the stricken husband after Dr. Fletcher left. I stood looking down at Laura's body. She was dead. And Dr. Fletcher's certificate would clear me of any suspicion of murder. I was free. Free to marry Margaret. I walked to Margaret's apartment that night. The street was dark. Empty. I had the uncomfortable feeling that I was being watched. Followed. And then I heard footsteps behind me. I hurried my pace. And the man behind me did likewise. Frightened as I was, I decided to stop and confront the follower. He came toward me. His face and figure shadowy in the dark. What do you want? Why are you following me?
You ought to know, Judge Thornton.
Who are you? Come closer so I can... Spencer. John Spencer. It can't be. You're dead.
Dead, am I? Well, you ought to know, Judge.
Now, take it easy, mister. Take it easy. Now, just tell me what happened.
I was being followed, officer. So I turned around to see who it was.
And did you see who it was?
Yes. And that's why I fainted. The man following me was a dead man.
He was, what's that?
The man following me is dead. I know he's dead, officer.
I ought to run you in. You're crazy.
I had intended to tell Margaret that Laura was dead. I meant to ask her to marry me. But the encounter on the street drove those thoughts out of my mind. Arriving at her apartment, I went directly to the window and looked out. And there, across the street, leaning against the wall, I saw John Spencer.
Richard, I'm insulted.
What?
You didn't kiss me. You haven't even said hello.
Oh, I'm sorry, dear. But that man across the street, he can't be real. And yet, if he isn't...
What man, Richard?
Don't you see him?
No, there's no one across the street.
He was there a moment ago. I turned my head to talk to you, and now he's gone.
Darling, you're trembling. You must be sick.
Don't look at me like that.
Richard, what's the matter?
I guess I am sick. I'd better go and have a talk with Dr. Fletcher.
Yes, I remember the Spencer case very well, Judge Thornton. You could have spared Spencer's life, but didn't. And now you imagine that he follows you?
Yes.
But the man is dead.
Then it was his ghost that followed me. His ghost I spoke to. His ghost that laughs.
There are no ghosts, Judge Thornton. With one exception. The ghosts we carry about inside us.
What do you mean?
Well, these things you hear and see, these are hallucinations brought on by feelings of guilt. Spencer's been dead for weeks. So the question is, why should you experience guilt feelings at this late date?
I don't know.
Well, psychiatry has an explanation. Quite often in such cases, one refuses to face the guilt object and transfers his guilt feelings to some other person.
What are you driving at?
I'm suggesting that your guilt feelings are not caused by the Spencer incident. And I'm going to ask you a blunt question. Did you murder your wife?
Why, of all the idiotic...
Just a moment, Judge. Just a moment. I've been rather uneasy about the circumstances of Mrs. Thornton's death.
But you yourself diagnosed it as a heart attack.
I accepted what you told me that night. A superficial examination of the body did indicate such a conclusion, yes, but your wife's cardiac condition was mild. Now, your guilt feelings lead me to suspect...
This murder talk is ridiculous. Were there any signs of struggle, any marks of violence? Of course not.
Mrs. Thornton might have been suffocated.
Oh, nonsense.
Perhaps. At any rate, I intend to recommend to the coroner that an autopsy be performed.
An autopsy?
Yes, it would determine whether or not death was due to suffocation. You should have no objection if I am mistaken.
You meddling fool.
Judge Thornton, put down that paper.
You were so clever.
Stay away from me.
I've gone too far now to stop at another. I'd lost my head. I should have agreed to the autopsy. That would have given me a day or two in which to plan my escape. But now, as things were, it would be only a matter of hours before Fletcher's body was discovered. My thoughts twisted and turned in panic.
Maybe someday you'll be down here where I am. Won't I be laughing when that happens? Wherever I am, I'll be laughing fit to bust.
I ran like a frightened child. I needed help, and there was no one to turn to. Margaret. She loved me. She'd help me. I went to Margaret and told her what had happened.
You killed your wife.
For you. So we could be married.
And then Dr. Fletcher.
I had to kill her, Margaret. He was going to recommend an autopsy.
Why did you come here?
We've got to run away. We still have an hour or two. If we could charter a plane to Canada or Mexico.
What makes you think I'd run away with you?
I thought you loved me.
Don't be stupid. I'm going to turn you over to the police.
Margaret, you can't mean
Can't I? Just watch me.
Margaret, listen before you pick up that phone. Even if you don't love me, even if you won't go away with me, give me a chance. Have mercy.
You make me laugh. Judge Thornton, who never gave anybody else a break, pleading for mercy. Well, turn around and ask the man behind you for mercy.
Behind? That's right. Spencer. John Spencer.
Take another look, Judge.
No, you're not John Spencer. There's a resemblance, but you're not John Spencer.
I'm his brother.
You're the man that was following me.
That's right.
I was tricked. Led on by Margaret to kill my wife, and forced by you to betray myself to Dr. Fletcher. But why? Why, Margaret? Why did you do this?
For revenge.
Revenge?
Yes. The first day I came to your house, you thought my face was familiar. Well, now I'll tell you where it was that you first saw me. It was in the courtroom at John Spencer's trial.
Courtroom? Yes. Yes.
Yes. Remember how he begged for mercy? He told you he had a girl, that he was engaged to be married, and you could have given him his life. But you sentenced him to his death.
What? For you, the girl?
Yes.
Spencer. Did he know about this?
All this was his plan. His revenge. Hello, operator. Give me police headquarters. I want to report a murder. Yes, that's right, a murder. Tell them it's very important to get here as soon as they can.
I'm waiting now for the police to come. For the trial. For the sentence, which I know will be death. As I wait, my thoughts go back to the courtroom.
You won't always be on top. Maybe someday you'll be down here where I am. And when that happens, I'll be laughing.
Well, Judge Thornton certainly misjudged Margaret Cummings, which was a grave mistake. Why, he didn't have the ghost of a chance with her. She double-crossed him right into the graveyard. Oh, a word of caution. If you must commit a murder, be sure to select the proper weapon. I suggest the sharp-edged axe, because it provides you with a handy alibi. When the police want to know why you did it, you can claim the killing was accidental.
Well, good night, and thank you, Poison Puss, for your Inner Sanctum story, tonight's performance in the Mystery Playhouse. Until next time, creep. Good night. Sleep tight.
Thanks for listening. Thanks for listening, everybody. We'll be back with more Scrap Pile Theater.
You're watching the Rocket Radio Show.
The Pete Santilli Show does not have your best interests in mind.
Hey everybody, welcome to the Rocket Radio Show. This is your host, Rocket. You know, I try to think sometimes what my motivation is for doing these shows. And now that we're almost a couple of minutes into this show, all the ADD, OCD, hyperactive syndrome, rectal leakage guys can bail now because you can go find some other video that's only a minute and a half long so you can concentrate, okay? Maybe my show doesn't have the right blink rate for the morons. So go ahead, I'll pause for a second. All the morons can leave. And they're gone. Okay, cool. Now we're left with the people that have some brain material. You know, the service that I provide for you here at the Rocket Radio Show is not really obvious. One of the services that I'm providing for you is I'm providing you a social media, a way that you can listen for entertainment or educational or for whatever reason to pass your time. You can listen to my show, and it's not influenced by a PR group. I don't have a whole task force to determine what kind of advertising I want to do. Beyond your basic requirements, I don't believe you need anything else to be happy. You know, being rich and chasing the American dream is one gigantic psyop. You get that, right? And so I've kind of been thinking of what benefit am I actually producing for my audience? And I've really figured out what it is. It even doesn't even really matter what I say. The fact is that I say it, and I don't have any bayonets telling me what I can or can't say. Now, that's not altogether true. I mean, if I do the wrong kind of verbiage or show the wrong pictures, I'll get, hailed as a bad YT channel, and they'll shut me off. And it's happened to me in the past, so I've kind of learned how to, use other people's movie clips. I slow them down just a little bit so that the little information spiders can't figure out that I'm using copyrighted material. And I like to blend images so nobody can say that I used their picture. I think if it's on the internet, it's fair game for everyone to look at. So does the NSA, and so does the CIA and all these other groups. Now, there's been a lot of talk lately amongst alternative media, different personality types, and they're kind of attacking each other. The latest trend is that the alternate media has been infiltrated. Now, I believe that's probably happening. I believe that a lot of shows that you might listen to that talk about politics or might generally make you think are probably being propagated by the powers that be, by he who walketh among us, the devil, for lack of a better term, the evil, malignant force behind the destruction of our planet. That's the guys, the ones I'm talking about. But see, when you come to my show, you're not getting that. One thing is I don't watch television, and I just don't, I'm not susceptible to commercials. I don't see the commercials, and I'm not in the material rat race. As long as I have cigarettes and something to eat and a place to sleep, I'm cool. Now, you may think I have low ambition. Well, maybe I do. But, you know, I've already done the jumping from airplanes. I've already had cars with rims. You know, I got to put rims on my car because that makes my car better somehow. I got to put a better stereo system in my car. That's back when I used to listen to really loud music. Now I've gotten where I don't really listen to music all that much. Now I enjoy music, and that's why I put it on my show. But if it's not connected to talk somehow, it just doesn't hold my attention. So the service that I'm providing for you is that when you listen to the Rocket Radio Show, when you come to my house, this is not a psyop. It's the real deal. And some of you guys like my shows. Now, I've come to realize I don't think that my show is ever going to have a mass appeal. I don't think so. Nope. Because a lot of people are just, one, they're just assholes, or they're baggers, or they're just psyoped. You know, the American dream is a psyop. You guys realize that all the people on the planet, you know what, we got 7 billion people, right? How are those 7 billion people supported? They're supported by oil, by petrochemicals. We use those to fertilize the ground and to grow the food. And if you look at the population of the planet, as soon as, you know, hydrocarbon fuel sources came into popularity is when our population skyrocketed. Well, eventually we're going to run out of oil. Now, they were jumping up and down and pulling their hair out in the 1970s over this, and suddenly it just went away. And, of course, 35 years have passed since then, so maybe they were, you know, Chicken Littles. They were doomsdayers. Everybody knows I'm a doomsdayer. But, you know, they are going to run out of oil. And once they do that, they're not going to be able to support these populations of people that we have. And, you know, you can't keep building products if people don't have the money to buy them. So lately, the biggest push is just to vote for Obama. They spent $1 billion on that. Do you realize that? $1 billion. Now, if they're going to spend that much money, there's a lot riding on that. There's a lot of people that are out now with their hands out expecting a payback for that money. I mean, where did that money come from? It came from special interests. I guarantee it didn't come from the population. It came from industry. It came from lobbyists. It came from people that have a vested interest in what their new president's going to do. Now, President Obama, I'm not going to pull any punches with him. I don't really dislike him when I'm just looking at him. He's been marketed to me well enough that he seems palatable to the eye. He is a criminal, period. That guy needs to be arrested. He's violated the Constitution, and he's a constitutional specialist. That just means that not only is he a criminal, he's a slime ball. He's not going to say I didn't know any better. No, he knew exactly what he was doing. He knew exactly how to use legal language to get around doing the right thing. So, no problem, no problem. Let him just violate the rights of the Constitution, people's rights. You know, go ahead and just bomb a citizen. No charges. You know, you guys piece of shit. You probably deserve to die, but that would have been after a trial, a lengthy trial with expensive attorneys. You know, you don't just put a bomb on someone's head. That's a right that's given to you by God. It's not given you by some presidential signing. That's treason, bro. You should be arrested. Normal people will be arrested. I'll tell you that. If they broke those kind of laws, you got people robbing trillions of dollars from banks. How come they're not arrested?
Programs that are in process, so we're looking at them at a fairly high level to identify risk.
Well, I understand that, but we're talking about events that started unfolding 8 months ago. Have you reached any conclusions about the Fed expanding its balance sheet by over $1 trillion since last September?
We have not yet reached any conclusions.
Do you know who received that money?
We're in the process right now of doing our review, and
right, but you're the Inspector General. My question specifically is, do you know who received that $1 trillion plus that the Fed extended and put on its balance sheet since last September? Do you know the identity of the recipients?
I do not know. We have not looked at that specific area at this particular point on those reviews.
What about Bloomberg's report that there are trillions of dollars in off-balance sheets transactions that the Federal Reserve has entered into since last September? Are you familiar with those off-balance sheet transactions?
You know, I think it may be important at this point, too, just to bring up a certain aspect related to our jurisdiction. And just to clarify perhaps some of my earlier comments. We are the Inspector General for the Board of Governors, and we have direct oversight over board programs and operations, and are also able to look at board-delegated functions to the reserve banks, as well as the board's oversight and supervision of the reserve banks. We do not have jurisdiction to directly go out and audit reserve bank activities specifically. Nevertheless, in our lending facilities project, for example, we are looking at the board's oversight over the program, and to the extent that extends out to the Federal Reserve Bank of New York.
Well, I have a copy of the Inspector General Act here in front of me, and it says, among other things, that it's your responsibility to conduct and supervise audits and investigations relating to the programs and operations of your agency.
That's correct.
So I'm asking you if your agency has, in fact, according to Bloomberg, extended $9 trillion in credit, which, by the way, works out to $30,000 for every single man, woman, and child in this country. I'd like to know, if you're not responsible for investigating that, who is?
We have responsibility for the Federal Reserve's programs and operations, audits, to conduct audits and investigations in that area. In terms of who's responsible for investigating, would you mind repeating the question one more time?
What have you done to investigate the off-balance sheet transactions conducted by the Federal Reserve, which, according to Bloomberg, now total $9 trillion in the last 8 months?
I'll have to look specifically at that Bloomberg article. I don't know if I have actually seen that particular one.
That's not the point. The question is, have you done any investigation or auditing of off-balance sheet transactions conducted by the Federal Reserve?
At this point, we're conducting our lending facility project at a fairly high level and not gotten to a specific level of detail.
Have you conducted any investigation?
You know, if you steal out of a parking machine, you're going to get arrested. But that's cool. They're the elite. They're above the law. We wouldn't want the masses being in control of like a true democracy, because by the re-election of Obama, by a slight margin, you can see how goddamn stupid the masses are. I don't even think it's an ignorance thing. A lot of the times I think it's this, they're psyoped. You got, large sections of the population that are completely psyoped. They have no idea. I did a video called It's All Lies. You could go back and find it. It's pretty good. Our whole life is a big freaking lie. You'd be amazed how many people wrote back to me to tell me how wrong I was, how there were so many things that they were told were actually truthful, and therefore our whole life wasn't a lie. Well, if you're American and you're living the American dream, you're living a lie. The world cannot support that anymore. It's not 1946 anymore. It's not 1961 anymore. There aren't any more untapped fields of resources to go up and gobble up for the white man. That's not happening anymore. The population cannot survive on what's left. You got too many people, too many hands in the pie. There's not enough oil in the frickin' ground to make the tires of a car to have an empty gas tank.
Experts would even dream of such a tremendous success. Most of it is done by Americans to Americans, thanks to lack of moral standards. As I mentioned before, exposure to true information does not matter anymore. A person who was demoralized is unable to assess true information. The facts tell nothing to him. Even if I shower him with information, with authentic proof, with documents, with pictures, even if I take him by force to the Soviet Union and show him concentration camp, he will refuse to believe it until he is going to receive a kick in his fat bottom. When a military boot crashes then he will understand, but not before that. That's the tragic of the situation of demoralization. So the next stage is destabilization. This time, subverter does not care about your ideas and the patterns of your consumption. Whether you eat junk food and get fat and flabby doesn't matter anymore. This time, and it takes only from 2 to 5 years to destabilize a nation. What matters is essentials: economy, foreign relations, defense systems. And you can see it quite clearly that in some areas, in such sensitive areas as defense and economy, the influence of Marxist-Leninist ideas in the United States is absolutely fantastic. I could never believe it 14 years ago when I landed in this part of the world that the process will go that fast. The next stage, of course, is crisis. It may take only up to 6 weeks to bring a country to the verge of crisis. You can see it in Central America now. And after crisis, with a violent change of power, structure, and economy, you have so-called the period of normalization. It may last indefinitely. Normalization is a cynical expression borrowed from Soviet propaganda. When the Soviet tanks moved into Czechoslovakia in '68, Comrade Brezhnev said, now the situation in brotherly Czechoslovakia is normalized. This is what will happen in the United States if you allow all these schmucks to bring the country to crisis, to promise people all kind of goodies and the paradise on earth, to destabilize your economy, to eliminate the principle of free market competition, and to put a big brother government in Washington, D.C., with benevolent dictators like Walter Mondale, who will promise lots of things, never mind whether the promises are fulfillable or not. Your leftists in United States, all these professors and all these beautiful civil rights defenders, they are instrumental in the process of the subversion only to destabilize the nation. When their job is completed, they are not needed anymore. They know too much. Some of them, when they get disillusioned, when they see that Marxist-Leninists come to power, obviously they get offended. They think that they will come to power. That will never happen, of course. They will be lined up against the wall and shot. But they may turn into the most bitter enemies of Marxist-Leninists when they come to power. And that's what happened in Nicaragua. You remember most of these former Marxist-Leninists were either put to prison or one of them split, and now he's working against Sandinistas. It happened in Grenada when Maurice Bishop was already a Marxist. He was executed by a new Marxist who was more Marxist than this Marxist. Same happened in Afghanistan when first there was Taraki, he was killed by Amin, then Amin was killed by Babrak Karmal with the help of KGB. Same happened in Bangladesh when Mujibur Rahman, very pro-Soviet leftist, was assassinated by his own Marxist-Leninist military comrades. It's the same pattern everywhere. It's divided in 4 basic stages: demoralization, destabilization, crisis, normalization. They will be lined up against the wall and shot.
So, I have some thoughts about the crash. You know, that's probably my main concern. Where the rubber hits the road for me is how I'm going to survive. Now, maybe that sounds selfish, but no, I'm not throwing myself on the altar of, just giving up. I'm not going to give up. I'm going to figure out a way to survive if I can. And I've thought about this. We could either have a fast crash or a slow crash. Now, this is all by design. It's not an accident. It's not, some kind of mystery why this is happening. People weren't boondoggled. They weren't surprised. It's all part of the big plan to go ahead and crash us. And I had a thought the other day. If they crash us fast, we'll maintain most of our infrastructure. If they crash us slow, everything's going to fall apart. They're going to stop maintaining the bridge. Even if you're a rich guy, it won't be safe to drive across the Brooklyn Bridge. I mean, you'll have to helicopter everywhere. But, the parts that are made for the helicopter, do you have enough of them in supply to keep, replacing the parts that wear out? Because the guys on the factory won't be able to drive across the bridge to make your helicopter parts. The water lines are going to start to deteriorate. The cops are going to go home because they're not getting paid. Soldiers are going to walk away because they're not getting paid. Pretty soon, you're not taking care of the skyscrapers and the big metal rusting objects hanging over our heads. The infrastructure will fall apart and basically become useless. It's like the worst thing an airplane can do, and that's to sit on the runway for, a year. You don't want to fly around in some airplane that's been sitting on a runway for a year. You want to fly on an airplane that just got back from a trip. You want to know that it's going to work. Well, our infrastructure will fall apart if they take their time on this crash. Now, they like to do everything in incrementals. You got to fool the morons. the cows, the sheeples out there. You want to adjust the water temperature real slowly so they don't realize that they don't have any frickin' rights left. They won't realize that they have any frickin' rights left until they're deciding which doorway into the oven they're supposed to go into. And then all of a sudden you're going to see, wow, this isn't a good thing. And all those frickin' progressives and liberals out there, you guys are so dumb. Don't you realize that once you get what you really want, you're going to be some of the first people that are going to be lined up and shot or guillotined or put into an oven somewhere. Maybe they'll put you in a bus that has the exhaust routed inside to the cab so that you're dead by the time you get to wherever they're going to dump your liberal, progressive, stupid-ass body. Kind of got us in this trouble in the first place. The neocons, those guys are a bunch of warmongers. Everything's based around war, bombs, death. You know, you got the Cheneys. Cheney has got to be a demon. If he's not the devil himself, maybe Rumsfeld is. I don't know. But as far as throwing Obama in jail, you might as well get a whole cell block because we're going to need to round up quite a few guys. I'm thinking Cheney definitely, Rumsfeld, George W. Bush, he should have his own special cell right next to Madoff. And then we can even get Grandpa Bush, even though he's fucked up and got strokes and stuff. Nope, we'll throw him in a prison cell, at least a prison hospital. He'll be eating hors d'oeuvres and little truffles because he's rich, but at least he'll be in some sort of jail while he's out of his mind, since he totally just raped our country. They frickin' killed JFK, and it's been a coup d'etat ever since. It's war, 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 war. And you know, America hasn't been prosperous for everyone all the time. There's always been an underclass. And when we look to the ages when the United States was really kicking ass, part of the reason is because we had little kids in them factories. You don't have to pay those little kids very much, and their little hands and fingers work real well with textiles. They can get in there between the threads and fix the machine in the middle of their 12-hour shift before they go back and sleep at the barracks where they're used as a substitute female by the guy that's in charge of them poor little kids. That's cool, though. We don't want to go back to that time, back when America was prosperous. You know, for all these trillions of dollars that we owe, someone has to make that money. And, you know, someone out there is making that money at, 50 cents an hour to pay off trillions of dollars. Trillions. They don't have any intention of paying that stuff off. They're going to ride this bad boy snake to the very bottom till it's a skeleton and then jump off and have a whole brand new gig to start it all over again. Only this time the planet doesn't have enough resources to support that consumerism madness. So I think that the New World Order is going to crash us quick. That makes sense. You need to crash us quick. We're going to be able to hold out and still maintain the nuclear power plants somehow. Maybe the big dams, the hydroelectric dams, some of the coal plants, some of the rail yards will still need them. A bunch of airports will still need to go. You'll still have your fusion centers and their little miniature armies going with their $2.5 billion, billion hollow point bullets at the ready to make those fusion centers, something to be reckoned with. But by taking their time and letting the infrastructure fall apart during a slow crash, they're going to lose everything. Now, for everything to fit nicely into Agenda 21, all the people need to crowd around these city-states, They have to get out of the rural areas. So that's going to be a starve-out process, I'm thinking at that point. They're going to round people up. I don't see how they can get around it. And just so you guys know, at the turn of the century, it was real common for, coal miners to go on a strike, and the police or the local National Guard would just come in and murder them all. They had tent cities, and they'd go in and light them on fire, and a bunch of kids and mothers would get killed living in these tents. We had Hoover towns and tent cities all over the place. It's not always been equal and great in the United States. That basically started after the wealth that was accumulated from World War II. Yeah, we had a pretty good run there from maybe 1940 to the 1980s where everyone was doing better. And, they've positioned everybody by psychops to think that if you're not living better than you were last year, you're a loser. If you're not doing better by next year, you're a loser. If your standard of living isn't continuously increasing, then you're a loser. You're lazy. You're just stupid. You know what I mean? It's not that you're swimming in, big undercurrents of trends and who knows, God, what's influencing you. No, you just need to work hard and you can support your family and get ahead. That's all a psychop. It's all a psychop. Everything that we believe as an Americanism is all psychops. It's all done on purpose. That's all PR firms. That's all study groups. and polling stations, and they figure out and get inside the population's head, and they try to figure out how they can manage the perception so that people walk around like sheeple. So I don't think it's all because they're retards. I think there are probably a lot of normal people that are just watch too much television. They went to the recent educational systems. They went through college. I didn't go to college. I'm glad I didn't go to college. Most people that went through college are freaking progressive liberals that sit around and talk about how bad Thomas Jefferson is. You know? So I think they're going to crash the system quickly to try to maintain some of the infrastructure. That makes sense. I mean, they don't want the nuclear power plants melting down, so they'll probably do it quick. I'm actually kind of looking forward to that. I can no longer support the American system. I didn't vote this year. I'm not going to have any blood on my hands. I don't think that the polarity system with the two-party system represents the people anymore. I'm not so sure that the people can be represented anymore. I'm starting to get kind of bigoted, where maybe the elite need to be in charge of the sheeple because they can't think for themselves. And when they are allowed to think for themselves, all they care about is their own interests. They don't think about our country. And that's why you got all the welfare moms and the minorities and the union guys all voting for Obama. They want something from the guy. They want the freebies. And, you know, a lot of famous and smart dudes in the past would say that the regular poor people should not be voting. If you don't pay taxes or serve in the military, if you're not an official citizen, you should not be voting. And those scumbags that have been letting in the illegal immigrants, there's no mystery. They wanted them to vote. That's all they cared about. Well, I hope you guys realize that the demographics has changed forever. And most of you guys that engineered that were old rich white dudes. Well, just so you know, these young Mexicans and Latinos that have joined our country hate your freaking guts. You overestimated their conservative values, okay? Just wanted to let you know that. And one last thing you guys should know, the Pope is saying that Jesus was a lot older than he used to be. Every time I see a picture of the Pope, he looks like the devil. He's got those weird little ratty eyes, and he's got little pointed ears, kind of miniature Spock ears. He looks like the frickin' devil. He's always riding around in these big white Bentleys with all his white and glossy glitter, little cherub-inscribed stuff. When is the Catholic Church going to go away? I don't think anytime soon. I'm sure that he's one of the big Illuminati, you know, the Queen, the Pope, the Rothschilds, all these rich bastards. You know, if you make $5 million, you still feel poor. And once you make, $20 million, you can't rub elbows with the real players. Once you make $50 million, $100 million, $2 billion, $20 billion, then after a while, the only thing that turns you on is things like pedophilism and weird stuff and blood sacrifices. You got to get nasty and dirty, or, how are you supposed to turn yourself on? There's nothing that you can't buy. So you don't have that material hard on anymore. Now you can't buy your way into happiness. So what's left? It's a bunch of perversion and sickness. It gets weirder and weirder. Look at rock stars, man. They get to where they don't even want to touch one of those groupie chicks. They want them to touch each other. Or maybe they'll do them with a living shark, They get weirder and weirder to satisfy themselves. And that's the same exact thing that happens to our multi-billionaires. They want to kill us all off. There's too many eaters. The people in charge today have nothing but contempt for the average guy. They despise you. Don't you realize it? They think that you're stupid. They think they can do anything to you.
Everybody, I keep hearing secession and revolution. We need to throw those bastards out. I think we're in such dire straits that won't even affect anything. My feeling about it is you better look after you and yours.
You're watching the Rocket Radio Show.
I want you to get up now. I want all of you to get up out of your chairs. I want you to get up right now and go to the window, open it, and stick your head out and yell, I'm as mad as hell, and I'm not going to take this anymore! First, you've got to get mad. I'm as mad as hell, and I'm not going to take this anymore! First, you've got to get mad. I'm as mad as hell, and I'm not going to take this anymore! Everybody knows things are bad. It's a depression. Everybody's out of work or scared of losing their job. The dollar buys a nickel's worth. Banks are going bust. Shopkeepers keep a gun under the counter. Punks are running wild in the street, and there's nobody anywhere who seems to know what to do, and there's no end to it. It's like everything everywhere is going crazy, so we don't go out anymore. We sit in the house, and slowly the world we're living in is getting smaller, and all we say is, please, at least leave us alone in our living rooms. Let me have my toaster and my TV and my steel-belted radios, and I won't say anything. Just leave us alone. Well, I'm not going to leave you alone. I want you to get mad. I don't want you to protest. I don't want you to riot. I don't want you to write to your congressman because I wouldn't know what to tell you to write. I don't know what to do about the depression and the inflation and the Russians and the crime in the street. All I know is that first, you've got to get mad. You've got to say, I'm a human being. God damn it. My life has value. I'm a human being. God damn it. My life has value. Well, I'm not going to leave you alone. I want you to get mad. I'm as mad as hell, and I'm not going to take this anymore. I want you to get up now. I want all of you to get up out of your chairs. I want you to get up right now and go to the window, open it, and stick your head out and yell, I'm as mad as hell, and I'm